What's up? It's your boy Carcino here, and let's talk about it. Look, I don't really talk about the subject too much, but let's talk about it because it deserves to be. There's a certain person that's out there in the game right now that, and I'm talking about the Hollywood game, that I think he just got sentenced to a year for domestic violence, and that's Columbus Short. Man, he had so much promise in his career when he first started out, man. I mean, like, I think it was like, what, 2005 or something? He was blowing up, Stomp the Yard. He was up in there, and he had a promising career. You know, a lot of people liked him. He had a great personality. He was full of energy. And you know, people thought he would be the one to really break through and go to the next level, but he was not. He was actually one to just dissipate. You know, he got into it in California at a brunch with at an ASCAP party, I believe. And that's when I first noticed how far he had fallen from grace. He went into it and got into an exchange with two different people that were, you know, asking for money or looking for money. And it was about drugs. The whole thing was about drugs. He was drunk a lot, and he was having problems functioning on the set. He wasn't functional, and he caused him to lose a title role. He ended up losing out. He lost a movie audition, a part where he had a starring role. Then he ended up getting a part-time role, and he was like, I was making more than this on ER, and I'm supposed to go down. He put on a big little. He was only in one little episode talking about he made a lot of money on that and all that crap. So he really was playing himself at that time. He was just starting his career out then, but at this point he had went so far without getting any work theatrically, you know, because of his attitude, his drug abuse, and he was in You Got Served, and after it was like he fell off the map for so long. It was like, man, he was in all these movies coming out, and he played Little Walter in Cadillac Records, and everybody thought like this guy was gonna stick around for a while. Then the bottom fell out. In 2010, he hit the floor, and his career was basically done. He was sent to television basically after that. He came back 5 years later, tried to reboot himself. And I wanted to see Columbus do well, but he got into an incident with one of my cousins, like I said, at the ASCAP party, and he was going off drugs, and he was looking for people to get him more drugs. He was drinking, and it caused a lot of problems. And that's when, you know, he had to get escorted out from, you know, he was doing Scandal at the time, doing television to keep himself relevant. You know, during that time, he was now, like, kicked out of movies, basically. So after that was, like, you know, done. And I think he did Stomp the Yard, Homecoming, and that was, like, the end of his movie career. That's something you do when it's over, when you do those type of movies. And once he did that, you know, now you look at the In-Laws. He had went through a divorce early on in his career before he started to take off. And once he took off, he got a new wife, and then fighting back and forth. It was never really, you know, settled. And, you know, you got in-law problems. And it's so sad and tragic what happened to Columbus Short, man. It really is. His career was supposed to be a lot higher because he had so much potential as an actor, as to do the job and have the ability. He had it. He had the skill to really sell the parts, the emotional scenes. He could really pull that stuff off. And to see him fall so fast, it's like actually shocking. It's actually shocking to me to see him fall as fast as he did. But once he got into it and you saw him, the other side of him, when he was drunk and on drugs and just lost. He was completely lost. And he was just cut off. All his connections cut off. Whenever you get kicked off Scandal, no, you ain't finna have a career, buddy. So everybody probably remember him from Scandal. He was Harrison Wright, remember? He did 46 episodes before. You gots to go. So he started doing some little C-rated films, and I haven't really seen too much of him since, but he's been doing those little films. Hopefully he can do something to keep himself relevant, but other than that, man, that's what happened to Columbus Short, for those who kept asking me. He made very poor decisions. And he's lucky. Hopefully, he survives this and come back strong. But that's what happened to him.